Hey, just real quick, this is going to be an extremely short stream. I just want to let you guys know that a whole bunch of weird things parapolitically are happening around the world right now. So this is just a very short stream of me just discussing some of the things that I've seen in the past few days. It won't be long. But so let's start. Okay, so there's a couple of things, right? So one is this was breaking news this morning with no explanation whatsoever. The FAA shut down the El Paso airspace for 10 days. This hasn't happened since 9/11, to my knowledge, where they shut down American airspace and they shut down, New York airspace. This hasn't happened. And nothing happened to warrant this that we know of. So something is going on. And at the same time, yesterday, we had, I forgot his last name, the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, said that he had an assassination attempt, that he had to land his aircraft emergency, and he had an assassination attempt on his life. Now, he just met with Trump, and everything was supposed to be okay between the two, and he was supposed to give Trump the information of who truly is bringing the drugs into America as a whistleblower, and Trump gave him a signed copy of The Art of the Deal. But something's going on with this. Something's going on with this. Something's going on with the Epstein disclosure. Something's going on with a China-American financial war. Something like, does World War III pop off? Through this, do we invade or stage some military attack against Mexico or, Central South America? Like, I don't know what's going on. All right. And, none of us do, but this is weird. Okay. So the Federal Aviation Administration issued unexplained notices late Tuesday closing airspace over El Paso and a large patch of southern New Mexico west of Santa Teresa for 10 days. El Paso International Airport has closed all flights, the city said. Representative Veronica Escobar, Democrat from El Paso, said her office has been told there's no imminent threat to El Paso, so why shut it down for 10 days? The orders close off all air travel in the affected area, which could cause massive disruptions to the nation's 23rd largest city. The FAA classifies airspace defined in this NOTAM as national defense airspace. Pilots who do not adhere by the following procedure may be intercepted, detained, and interviewed by law enforcement and security personnel, the notices said. The United States government may use deadly force against the airborne aircraft. It is determined that the aircraft poses an immediate, imminent security threat. The notice continued. The notice is known to the notice known as the Notice to Air Missions, or NOTAM, took effect 11:30 p.m. Mountain Time Tuesday and expire 11:30 p.m. February 20th. The announcement caught officials with local government agencies in Fort Bliss by surprise. Multiple sources told El Paso Matters, so the military claims they didn't even know. The El Paso city government issued an advisory early Wednesday that flights at El Paso International Airport are canceled. I mean, what? Closing off airspace over a major U.S. city is a rare action, and officials with the Federal Aviation Administration didn't immediately respond to questions from El Paso Matters on the reasons for the actions. A person familiar with the notices who asked not to be identified because they weren't authorized to speak publicly. The action to close airspace over a major U.S. for security reasons over an extended period hasn't happened since immediately after the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001. Of course. Do you remember a time? I don't remember a time. What's going on? All air traffic has been halted in 10 nautical mile range around the airport, so encompassing El Paso and Fort Bliss from the ground to 17,000 feet. So no aircraft in or out regardless of what they are, whether it's air carriers, military, medevac helicopters, law enforcement. Nobody can fly as this thing is written up, the person said. What is going on? The notices include a phone number at the FAA Special Operations Support Center to call for more information. A man identifying himself as Eric spoke briefly to El Paso Matters late Tuesday and said he couldn't explain the reason for the notices. Not really, not because I won't. It's because I don't know. I mean, this is just the office that published it, so we're handed the sheets and they say go with it, Eric said. The restricted airspace covers most of El Paso County, but does not include Mexican airspace, according to the information provided by the FAA. What's going on, you guys? Like, maybe nothing comes from this at all? Which, you know, I titled this broadcast, Do Not Let Your Heart Be Troubled. Don't. When these things are happening, when all this stuff, when World War III encompasses the globe and goes hot, don't let your heart be troubled. So I understand, flesh is going to be concerned and anxiety-ridden depending on the person, right? But, you also have a renewed heart, restored heart. Don't let your fleshly heart be troubled. But something's going on with everything. The Epstein disclosures hitting Thiel and the Trump administration very hard. The assassination attempt of the Colombian president, the financial war between China and America. Like, all these things are happening right now as we speak. And on top of that, infrastructure issues with the internet and cell phones, yet again. Like, I don't know. So I ain't saying I'm on here and it's going to happen and something's happening, whether it's just them, the government messing with us, or there really is something that is serious going on and they just ain't telling us. So, it's one of the two. Maybe this goes with some sort of false alien disclosure. I don't know. But, I'm just coming here to tell you that things are getting kind of weird, and they're going to continue getting weird. All right? And, I'm not going to here to say that I know everything that's going on. But, and I don't. But a lot of it's been ramping up since the beginning of this year, okay? So, yeah. I expect throughout this year there to be continuing global strife, civil unrest. Those two I'm pretty sure. So Jesus said in John 14, let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, but believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, that you may be also. And whether I go, ye know, and the way ye know. So, again, if you're born again, well, they can't. What's the worst they can do? Kill you? You go to heaven. So, a lot of things are reaching the apex, the highest point. It may be months off, it may be years off, but to be honest, I think a lot of it's this year. So, don't let your heart be troubled. Spend time with your family. Ultimately, spend time with God. Spend time with your neighbors. Forgive if you're holding on to unforgiveness. Work with your brothers and sisters around you. Reestablish relationships. You're going to definitely need to lean on God, but you also, to a degree, and I'm not saying that, you can put your trust in man, obviously, but you should do your best to try to have good relationships with your family and those around you, because you're going to have to rely on them to some degree. Especially your brothers and sisters in Christ. So, I love you guys. I'm not scared, but this is weird, man. A lot of weird things have been happening. So, Maduro, Epstein, this, so much stuff. So take care. God bless. Just wanted to, alert you guys to this.